The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Stocks edged higher, powered by a stream of earnings beats. The Dow jumped 198 points. The S&P rose 33. 5-day win streak, both indices sitting right back near record highs.
Wow, when you listen to him, you want to sell everything and then put it in the stock market, right? Unbelievable, this guy. That's Pisani. What a salesman. Just like Aunt B, a Treasury Secretary. What a salesman she is. Saleswoman. It's just incredible. He's sitting there telling us that we have a incredible stream of earning beats. It just makes you sick. Stream of earning beats. But what he doesn't tell you is whose estimates are they? Whose estimates are they? Is it an independent group that comes into your corporation, goes to your CFO, and they determine what it should be? Or is it the CEO getting together with the president who come up with an estimate that's so low it's easy to beat? Yeah, that's what it is. I know. I ran 2 public companies. It's just incredible, the lying that goes on. You know, every Friday I post between 6 and 7 at night. I have on my YouTube channel the unfolding the stock market crash. And sometimes people say, oh, gee, Phil, you've been doing that for a long time, yet the market hasn't crashed. Oh, it's going to crash. The idea behind it is to make sure at the end of each week to identify for you those things that are happening, that evidence that the trend is heading towards a crash instead of away from a crash. When crashes happen, that's when most of the people are in the market. Most of the people get hurt. I have what I label as tourist investors. These are the people right before every crash. They have never been in the market or seldom ever in the market. And right before every crash, they get in because all of a sudden, before every crash, you get a market pullback. And then you get these dopes on the fake business news networks saying, buy on the pullback, buy on the pullback. Keep buying on that dip. That's all you hear. Used to be buying on a dip was rare. Was rare when you bought on a dip. Now it's mainstream. Every day, buy on a dip. Why not? They're printing every month $125 billion to stick into the stock market every month to make sure stocks don't come down. They take the 125 million every month, print it, make sure the Federal Reserve goes out and makes sure they get to the banks the money, go out and they buy treasury bonds to make sure the interest rates stay down. Then they loan the money to corporations, to CEOs, so they can buy their own outstanding shares down. Because the fewer shares they have outstanding, when their earnings come out and they have to spread them over the amount of shares outstanding, the fewer shares, the higher the earnings go up. The higher the earnings go up, the higher the stock price. It's fraud. You used to go to jail for doing that. So when you hear Pisani say, what a string of earnings, things are just great. But here's what he's not talking about. And they won't tell you this. There's 2 things that are happening right now that's so dangerous. And I'm going to share this with you today instead of waiting for Friday, because I think it's very important. We don't have inflation anymore. We have stagflation. And stagflation is very, very dangerous because it's hard to get out of. Stagflation is very hard to get out of. And inflation, the Federal Reserve keeps telling us inflation is 2.5%. Then they said, oh, well, now it's 5%. Well, anytime you reach 5%, you are in stagflation. Now, stagflation is very tough to get into. Very rarely does it happen. And when you are in stagflation from inflation, you're screwed. Because very, very hard to get out of. And the evidence you're in stagflation is having inflation at 5%. Now, the 5% is as much of a lie as the 2%. That's not what the real inflation is. The real inflation is, I'm sure you'll agree with me if you went out and bought some meat or bought gas or gasoline or whatever, real rate of inflation is 13% plus. That's the real inflation. Now, stagflation, remember, is caused by a slowing economy. Our economy slows. You start getting high unemployment, and you get high inflation. Now, why is stagflation so rare? Thank to God it is, because when you have stagflation, it is so bad. It's very rare because it's very rare at the same time do you get a slowing economy in high inflation. That's very, very rare. That's why you very seldom get stagflation, but when you get it, you better pay attention to it. You better pay attention to it. Now, usually if you're going to get stagflation, they do everything they can. The Federal Reserve, our owners, Congress, anything they'll do, whatever they can to make sure we don't go into stagflation, to try to stay into inflation. But this time, they decided we want stagflation. They want higher inflation. Higher inflation. Because why? Because Biden understood one thing. Same with Trump. All these deals they were doing, our national debt was going to increase because our deficits were increasing. We're spending so much more money than we took in. And you have to pay those trade deficits off. You can't just let them hang out there. So how do they pay all this debt off? Well, he's telling you, Biden and the administration, to say, oh, don't worry about the $5 trillion. It's all paid for. Or the $3 trillion or the $1 trillion or the $2, whatever trillion they're coming out. It's all paid for 100%. We're going to go and we're going to nail the rich. Well, if you took all the millionaires and billionaires and put them in the wrong room and confiscated all their money, you wouldn't even have enough money to pay half. To even pay half of $3 trillion. Never mind $5 trillion. So that's a bunch of BS. It's all 100% paid for. So we got a very serious situation right now with stagflation. And the real rate of inflation, at least they're talking, you know they're lying through the teeth when they say inflation now is going from 2.5% to 5%. It's unbelievable. And this is serious stuff. And you got to know what stocks to be in. Now, inflation, they told us, was transitory. Really? Transitory? I told you then they were lying. Well, at least now they're not saying they lied, but they say, well, we may have been wrong. Well, if you're in stagflation, which we are, you are very, very wrong. And all I can say to anybody, we are in stagflation. So you better learn how to make money with the market going down. And never mind this buy on the dip. And I'll talk about the dip when I get back. Join my gang free for 10 days. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. I'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night. You don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026. Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. 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 10 days.
Here at Phil's Gang, we are creeping it real. Now, here's Phil.
Consumer is underspent. We got a number about $650 billion underspent the last couple of years.
Yeah, underspent. They got about $650 billion hanging around underspent. That's why it just boggles your mind when they lie like that. Underspent. They have so much money. The only money they had, okay, the working poor, the working middle class, which now is the working poor, because they don't want a middle class. You can't have a socialist society with a middle class. No country, no socialist country can have a middle class. People are suffering. Anybody that's making less than $100,000 a year is suffering. You got 2-3 kids. It's costly. I told you the other day, it costs from the day a child is born into your family, just one child, to the day you reach 17 years old, costs you $250,000 or $230,000. That's expensive. But the economy is not producing good jobs. The economy is not giving us pensions. They're giving us this crappy 401k, which is the biggest skimming operation in history. How can you say that the consumer is doing terrific when 72.3% of the people who work are working paycheck to paycheck? It's just full of lies. And that's why you can't listen to what they tell you on these fake business programs, fake business networks, news networks. Please don't listen to them. They're not doing anything for you. When they give you information, it's not to help you, it's to help their stock options, to help themselves. Now, the stagflation is a big problem. And it rarely ever happens. Because rarely at the same time does the economy slow and you have inflation. That rarely happens. So how did they come up with, how did that happen? How did it occur? It was done purposely through their programs, because they know when they're going to put $5 trillion back on the budget deficit, there's $5 trillion more that was going to go on the national debt. They were in deep trouble. They have to reduce the debt. And how do they reduce the debt? The same way they take care of their defaults every day. You know, it's funny. We got to give Aunt B, our Treasury Secretary, an award. She should be up for an Oscar. You know, the debt ceiling, how the debt ceiling, if we don't pay that debt ceiling, we don't hit that debt ceiling, we're going to be in trouble. We can't pay our bills. We're going to lose our Social Security. People can't retire. All a bunch of garbage. We've always raised our debt ceiling. We never missed our debt. It's all show, because they want you to be watching that so you don't really see what's going on the other side, which they're purposely increasing inflation. They want inflation. Trump wanted inflation. Biden really needs inflation to pay down his debt, to pay down the national debt. Remember what they do with inflation. They destroy the value of the dollar, and therefore the money that we owe to Japan, the money we owe to China, goes down without us even have to pay a check. I always say, think of $1 trillion. Oh, $1 trillion, the dollar value goes down 20%. Now we only owe China $800 billion. We don't owe them $1 trillion. Isn't that great? That's what they do. And they knew with $5 trillion more debt on top of the $28 trillion, we had to do something. So remember, this $5 trillion bill has nothing to do with what's good for you. It's all about the party. And I don't care who the hell it is. Republicans or Democrats, it's always about the party. That's who's first. Not you, not me, not America. It's always the party, the party, the party. Everything's about the party. So they decided to throw us under the bus with stagflation because they now know, just like every day, they default on their note. It's funny. Aunt B's out there talking about how we're going to default on our note, but she doesn't tell everybody we default every day. Why? Because every day we spend more than we take in. If you own a business and every day you're spending more money owning a business than you can take in revenue from customers, you're in default. It's the same thing with government. So what do they do every day when they're in default? They turn around and they create inflation. And when they create, and first they tell us, we have 2.5% inflation. No, that's a lie. They want inflation to go up as high as it can, because the more inflation, the more they pound the dollar value down. That means the dollar you have set aside for retirement is going down. The dollars you have set aside for your kids' education going down. This is what they're doing. They're trying to destroy the dollar to get their debt down to take care of the party. If they were really looking out for my interest and your interest, they wouldn't be doing this. And so how did they get to stagflation? It was on purpose. Because remember, to have stagflation, that's very tough to do. It's hard to have stagflation. I mean, very rarely can you have this high inflation. And how do you have high inflation and slow economic growth? That doesn't make sense, right? To get that, what did they do? They came up with programs to give us that slow economic growth and high inflation that destroys you and me and our economy, so that the Democrats, or if it was the opposite, the Republicans, they'd do the same thing. But let's take what we have on the table so Biden can get his bill through. He's a total failure. He looks like a fool to the whole world, and he's betting everything on this bill is going to go through. So what he's doing is throwing us under the bus, and he started with what? The enhancement check program. 9 million people. 9 million people were out of work because he closed the economy, the idiot. 9 million people. And then he prints $1 trillion to send to the 9 million people because they don't have any income. Now they got that. Now he replaced their income. What's next? What's it going to cost you? I'll tell you when I get back. Join my gang free for 10 days. 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
What are you, nuts? 85% of the people do not know how to get out of the market. They lose money because they don't know when to get out. I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. I solved that with my Pro 2 color-coded chart. It tells you when to get out. It tells you when to get in, tells you what to add, not to add. Specifically, when do I get out? It tells you that. Check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Get your 10-day free trial of my Pro 2 color-coded chart and a membership.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang free for 10 days. Call 877-600-GANG or go to my site, philsgang.com. Sign up for Working Investor Group where you get the color-coded chart free for 10 days and you get access to everything we have for 10 days. And the biggest thing, you're going to finally, our goal is to make sure we get you out of the 80% of people who lose money in the market. Check it out yourself. Look it up. 80% of the people lose money in the stock market. Only 20% make money because of two reasons. One, they know when to get out of a stock. And two, when a stock, they get out of it, they short it when it goes back down. Most everybody, they get in a stock, it goes up, they know it's going to go down, or they feel it's going to go down, they get out, and then they look for another stock to go up again. That's ridiculous. You can't make money consistently that way. You got to be really a good stock picker. You got to have great experience. If you're going to make your money just buying, nobody on Wall Street does that. You know how good you got to be? And most people don't, they're lousy at what they're doing, and they listen to these fools on the Fake Business News Network. You know, give me an example. If you go through all the Kramer stocks, I always put up cuts, see what he's picking, and we always track it. The last 6-7 stocks he's picked, they've all gone down. On my color-coded chart, they're all in red territory. as opposed to our stocks. There's only one stock he has that's been just starting to do decent. Just our symbol NI. It's the only one. And I wouldn't buy that unless it gets above 25.20, and I really wouldn't put any money on it until I got above 25.80. But let me tell you another thing they're lying about. They're lying about, they say we have inflation, but we have stagflation. Okay. They're also lying about the inflation number. It's not 5%. It's more like 13 to 15%. They never tell you when the market, when Pisani comes out every day lying to you and saying this.
Stocks edged higher, powered by a stream of earnings beats. The Dow jumped 198 points. The S&P rose 33. 5-day win streak, both indices sitting right back near record highs.
5-day win streak, 5-day win streak. But here's what he don't tell you. If you take your stocks, which I do for my members every day, and I take the Dow 30, and I identify each day how many of the 30 stocks are above their 50-day moving average. And if you take it right now, above their 50-day moving average, there's only about 10 or 11 of the 30 stocks that are above the 50-day moving average. That's terrible. That's terrible market breadth. Now, when you look at market breadth, you can look at how many stocks are advancing any one day against the ones declining. That's okay too. But I like the broader measure. Just tell me how many stocks, either in the Dow 30 or the S&P, are above the critical 50-day moving average. How many are above that? And if you have more stocks below, that means you got a stock market that's going up on nonsense. And what is that nonsense? Stock buybacks. What's that nonsense? They're printing $125 million. $125 million every month to make sure the stock market goes up. And then every time it comes back a little bit, they tell you to buy on the dip. You go and buy on the dip, and they push it back up. And here's what people don't know. When you buy on the dip, when your stock comes down, you better know before you buy, is the trap door closed? In other words, if you have stocks going up, but you got more people selling them than buying them, you don't know that. My chart indicates that. It tells you. See, you can have a stock going up, you think you're doing great, but what you don't understand is that stock may be going up, but you got more stocks that are weak than strong. You have weaker stocks than strong. That may be one of the strongest, but that stock's going to get hit. These are the things they don't tell you, they don't want you to know about. Well, we tell you this every day and hope when you make money, you send money to St. Jude. So here's what they did to purposely put us in stagflation, because they didn't care about you or me or the economy. They only cared about the party, getting this most important bill through. His whole presidency's on this bill. This is what it's about, getting this socialist bill through. So what did he do? To have stagflation so he can move inflation higher, because remember, that's how he pays down his debt. The higher inflation goes, the more the value of each dollar that we have goes down, and that's how he pays down his debt. So he decided to do an enhancement check program where he gave 6 million people, 9 million people, $1 trillion, because they all went home, they weren't working anymore. He closed the economy, 9 trillion people went home, and he said, I'm going to send you checks. And I'm going to send you even more. I'm going to send you even a $300 extra check. So you'll have, instead of $300 a week unemployment, I'm going to give you $600. So that meant that they had $1 trillion that they purchased all these goods, but we couldn't replace the goods on the shelves. Now we had this huge back order. That means the remaining goods on the shelves, whatever they were, cars, anything else, were going up in price because they're all at home. Nobody's working to manufacture the inventory to put it back on the shelf. They also knew, because of the backlog, there'd be 200,000 crates sitting off the shore They can't unload, and now inflation is going to go up even higher. And that helps him with his program. So this is what he's doing. This is all being created to help him to get his deal through so that he can then hopefully go out and start paying down the debt by throwing us under the bus. This enhancement check program. After the enhancement check program closed on September 6th, he said, wait a minute, we got to have another program, just like the enhancement check program, that incentivizes people not to go to work. So they came up with a child tax credit program where they increased checks from $2,000 to as much as $3,600, again, giving people the incentive not to go to work. Then there's another 8 additional programs where the incentive is not to go to work. You have 8 additional incentive welfare assistance programs. They'll give you housing, they'll give you food, they'll pay your utilities, they'll pay your medical, they'll pay your education, including there's an assistance program. I didn't know this till I looked it up. An assistance program where you can obtain a cell phone, a laptop, and be homeless. What is all this nonsense? That's called inflation, but they want that inflation. It kills you at the pump. Look what you're paying for gasoline at the pump. But for Biden and his people, it would have been the same thing with Trump. No matter who's in that house, White House, same thing. We have prices going through the roof. That's called inflation. So it destroys the value of dollars. So they can keep, so especially Biden can keep pushing down the debt because he's going to be piling on another $5 trillion. So what do? Make sure you're in those stocks that are benefiting from the 8 additional incentive not to work programs. The incentive program, child tax credit. So you got the child tax credit incentive program not to work. You got 8 additional incentive programs not to work. That causes inflation, so we make sure we're in these stocks that benefit. Our Bank of America is up 14%. Our Home Depot's up 11%. Lowe's up 13%. This is where you have to be. Join my gang free for 10 days and get your free color-coded chart. Be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativeGroup.com.
License number A1900020.
Warning. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days, philsgang.com. Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you start making money, please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
thinking about investing in the stock market, go to philsgang.com, where we have over 50 years experience in trading and investing in the stock market. Phil's Gang teaches you how to make profits in the market with stock chart analysis, up-to-the-minute alerts, and always keeping you informed with professional guidance in long and short-term positions. Go to philsgang.com or call one of our professional staff to answer your questions. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Stop wondering about your financial future and start doing something about it.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Hey, welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang. By the way, I have, and you can participate, I have what I call my stocking stuffers. I just put them together. I do this always before Christmas. I have 6 of them. And why don't you just join the gang? Why don't you first start out 10 days free? And you have my color-coded chart. So it tells you on my stocking stuffers when to buy, when to sell, when to add, when to run like hell, and when to short. God, that's the key point. Can you imagine getting to the point that with the same ease you buy a stock, you have that same confidence to make money when a stock goes down? And we'll get you there. That's our goal. That's why we've been so successful. That's our goal, getting people to learn when to get out of their stock. That's number one. And secondly, make money when it's going down. And the color code tells you in advance when to get out of the stock. In advance, it turns yellow. It's patent. Nobody else has it. Try it for 10 days. You see if it works for you. And then all I ask you, start making money, help St. Jude. Now, they lie to us every day. Did you hear what this guy said about the consumers underspent?
Consumer is underspent. We got a number about $650 billion.
Yeah, $650 billion the consumers have laying around. Don't know what to do with it. Really? Then how come the third quarter foreclosures are up 32% from the second quarter this year? Now you want a real number? Let's compare the third quarter last year compared to the third quarter this year. Up 67% foreclosures. Inflation? It's not 5%. It's 13 to 15%. Now, the only reason that they're pushing the stock market up right now is they're able to keep the interest rates low. They're cheating. But that's okay. Keep making money in this inflationary stocks. For example, consumer discretionary stocks. I don't like buying the individual stock. I buy Home Depot. Or I buy Lowe's. Lowe's is up 13%, or Home Depot is up 11%. But anybody can do that. The easiest thing is, when do you get out of Home Depot? When do you get out of Lowe's? Bank of America, up 14%. Because these stocks, remember, do well when there's high inflation. And remember what Biden's doing. He's intentionally pushing inflation up so he can pay down his debt. Every day we default in the United States. Every day our government's defaulting. Why do you think we went from, I love how they say, well, we're going to have a great economy. We're going to keep inflation at 2%. Now all of a sudden it's at 5%. When are they going to tell the truth and say it's at 13 or 15%? They'll never tell you the truth. I don't care who's in that office. They won't tell you the truth. So the easiest thing is you can shut all this nonsense off. Shut all the noise off. You look at a simple chart, and if you don't sell yourself, I'm not selling you. You get it free for 10 days. Get it free for 10 days. And if it doesn't work for you, then fine. But I don't know why it wouldn't. Give you an example. We're looking at, now don't do this one on your own. This kills me. Every time I get a name of stock out, somebody takes the stock, they go buy it, they never join the gang, and then I'll read somewhere on the internet, oh, I listened to Phil and I lost money. But they don't tell the other side of the story. I listened to Phil, but I was too cheap to sign up for $39.95, so I thought, boy, I was clever. He gave me a stock, I didn't have to pay for it. Well, the problem is that dope, how am I going to get to you? If you're the dope that did that, how am I going to get to you? How am I going to tell you when to add, when not to add? How am I going to tell you, let's turn around, take profits? I can't get you if you're not a member of the gang, so please, when I give you stocks, stop doing that. Don't try it at home. But now gold is a good example. This stagflation is going to be fantastic for gold. Oh, I know you're saying, oh yeah, I'm only in Bitcoin now. I'm a big Bitcoin guy. Yeah, you watch and see what happens with gold. But why don't you join today? Here's the number, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG, or go on site, billsgang.com, and just select where it says Working Investor Group. Then you get your membership free for 10 days. You get your color-coded chart free. The color-coded chart really works. You should check it out. It works. It's fun to use. You know when this really gets to be fun? When you can turn your TV off. Don't read any of the financial rags. Just turn all the TVs off, and then all you do is you look at your chart, and it tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. And best, when to turn around and sell it short. Okay, so, again, we're starting to see, and we're being lied to every day, that this inflation is transitory. Well, it's not transitory because, number one, we don't have inflation, we have stagflation. We have stagflation. Now, Obama, remember, when he introduced in 2009 his program of wealth distribution, that's when he tried to change from a capitalist society to a socialist society. And he wanted to expand his welfare state. And he did. And he did. The economy didn't grow. Then he thought Hillary Clinton was going to come in and finish the middle class off. And then we'd be totally a socialist nation. That didn't work. So now the dope is in there. Okay, his vice president, and he's a dope. He thinks he can finish off the middle class. This is all about finishing off the middle class. This is what their goal is. And as I said to you, they're lying to us about these undocumented people they're letting in. The only reason why they're letting them in is because they know, as I told you the other day, they want to try to take the middle class and the working class and make sure they stay at home and keep sending them money to stay at home. Keep sending them money to stay at home. So that way, the undocumented worker comes across the border, he takes that job. And the undocumented guy is so thrilled to have a job, and he's in America, that he's going to be a loyal Democrat, a loyal socialist. He's always going to vote Democrat. That's their whole idea. This whole scheme is insane. And what's it doing? It's killing everybody who's hard-working, who just want to be an American, who want to pay your bills every day, you want to have some money left over, you want to send your kids through school, you want to have a nice retirement. They're destroying all of that for the party. For the party. This is crazy. In the meantime, you got all these stocks sitting here, and most of you don't know which ones to be in. And when you listen to these dopes on TV, they're going to get you the ones in that they're in. Remember, when you get these stocks from Varney, like, well, he's always in Microsoft. Unbelievable. He pushes that every day. And these stocks, the only ones that you want to be in is your Netflix right now. That's the one I've been watching, and we're in that one. Microsoft had earnings the other day, but do not chase it. If you jumped into Microsoft on its earnings, it went from 312 up to 324, and you bought it, you're nuts. You never do that. You never do that. You got to let it pull back, because all that is short covering. That's not new buyers coming in. If you went and bought it today at $324.36, you got a high probability of losing money. You got to let it build a little base. Let it build a little base. Never do that. Never chase these stocks. Okay, when you start chasing these stocks on earnings, you always lose money. So please don't do that. Now, the other stocks that they keep telling you to be in are all the discretionary stocks, especially the defensive stocks like Coke and Pepsi and all that. Don't do that. Don't be in those stocks. Those stocks, they have no loyalty to you. As soon as the big tech stocks start going up again, everybody dumps those stocks. Right now, the best thing to be doing, okay, is to start watching your transportation stocks, gold stocks, what we call our COVID-19 stocks. These stocks are so beaten down, so brutally beaten down, like the airlines and the cruise lines. What buys? You'll never get buys like that again. Now, these stocks are in my group of stocks, so why don't you just follow me every day? Myself and Steve, the head of our education department, we post them every day. We tell you exactly what to do. Take advantage of these stocks that have been beaten down to death. That's how you make money. Join my gang, free for 10 days, 877-600-GANG. I'll see you on the charts, and please remember St. Jude.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Bill Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.